Start recording. I can trim for you later.
Does that look okay? All right.
It looks pretty good up there.
All right. Okay. I was going to show some development work that I've done, or basically the process that I use for making cartridge games. And I guess the first thing you'd start with is Magellan. So that's just a jar file that you can run. I pretty much do everything from the command line, which is my Unix background. And it's a Java program, so it runs on any operating system. I use it on Linux, Mac, and Windows. And you've got your screens over here that you can just draw and fill with characters. You can redefine the character definitions on this side, so it changes them all over here. It's pretty easy to use. Let's see where I'm at. Okay, let's go up to Legend of Tilda. I've made a bunch of files for the different things in the game. The main one is the overworld map, and that's kind of where I just play around with my character files or character graphics, and have my sprites for the main character too. I pretty much used all the characters on this one, redefined them for water and different dungeon types and brick types, red and green, and I'm using the character set from the original Zelda game.
What's the color of the
What's that?
The color information is right above there.
Yeah, on the Mac it doesn't work right. It should show you the colors here. So this would be white, this would be gray, some reds, blues, greens, and it changes it for the whole row too. So this is using the standard mode 1, I think, where if you change the color of one character, it changes all 8 characters in that row. But that gives you the most efficient use of the memory in the VDP. Sprites, I'm using the 16 by 16 sprites. These are all my foreground and background sprites that I combine to make the main character, facing all 4 directions and actions. And they have 2 different types of shields too. There's your little shield and your magic shield that can deflect certain types of bullets. And let's see, the enemies are in a different one, and that's just the sprites. They look like this. What else have I got? There's some other sprites in this one. These are your things that you can pick up or use, or you might see them in the menu. Let's see if I got the menu screen here. You can create multiple screens within one file that allows you to create like different levels. They don't overlay, but you can like have it be a separate screen that you can load during the game. Like you have multiple levels. This is where the TI force would fill in. Each level that you complete, you would get another piece of the TI force. And this is just kind of how I'd place it on the menu screen. Lately I've been working on dungeons. Oh, this is kind of messy, but I've got all the sprites on here. I can clear them out pretty easily using the mouse button, the right mouse button. And there's the plain level with all doors open. And there's other styles of doors that could be, I think down here I've got some locked. You can only see 1/4 of it, but on the other screens, you have walls that you can bomb eventually, and locked doors that you have to find a key to open. And some doors you might have to do something like kill all the enemies in order to open them, and some blocks are pushable that you will open to get to this stairway. And down here you might find an item. I just have some sprites in here just to test them. A map screen that would also show your inventory. Level layouts for all the different levels, how they would appear on the map. What else? Oh yeah, the title screen that you may have seen. I have it on my sheet over there. But that's not all. I have also done some other games that I've been working on. For the 4K contest, I was working on one called Bounce and Pounce. Oh, the mouse goes the other way. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so this one is a racing game in bitmap mode. And some of the sprites didn't fit in the 4K, so I had to cut out all the other cars. I don't know if this one has all the enemy cars. Oh yeah, here they are. Some of the enemy car sprites. And I think I have some other levels that might have them. Nope. But here's different parts of the track that you would race on. Each track segment is, I think, 32 by 32 characters, and it only displays 24 lines at a time, so it has to scroll through those. Some water hazards, and that's all in that one.
You said this was in bitmap mode. In that game, is it scrolling then in bitmap mode?
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
in chunky scroll, but fast.
it actually pre-scrolls characters 8 times, so then you have 8 times 32 different sets of characters. No, they're all static,
Okay.
but then it redraws the whole screen and uses the correct character for the scroll offset.
Okay.
So that's how I could do it in 4K. Let's see, and there's some other files that I play around with. I'd like to do, well, okay, here's the font that I did for Telnet. So you've got all your little characters side by side, because then I mask off which side it's displaying on. And also, there was a thread that somebody had a contest to make something that looked really cool using bitmap, or the non-bitmap mode. I can't believe it's not bitmap was, I think, the name of the thread. So I had one called Fantas, which I found a ZX Spectrum game that somebody had made this really cool artwork for, and it looks like this. So this is the original Graphics 1 color mode, but all the characters. This is not bitmap. So you can see all the tile of the characters there are 2 colors, and they're all sharing the same color for the row of 8. And I think I stayed up all night working on this one. I had a lot of fun. And let's see, what else? There's another thread that sometimes 99er has called Optical Illusions. And I think I've got some, yeah, here they are. That you may have seen. Curvature blindness. No, I didn't do this one. But you can see how they're curved over here, but they're not here. But it's actually the same shape. This is another one that I was playing with in. Looks like bitmap mode. Yeah, I think it is. No, it is Graphics 1. And here's a more zoomed in version. I don't know if you're getting the full effect on the big screen. This is an impossible shape. This one looks like I didn't finish it. Okay, there's another one that has the rest of that one. No, this one's
has
kind
a wave in it.
Yeah. This one did. That was the first attempt. This one didn't work out. This one's definitely better. This one will kind of mind bending.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone cover.
This is just a pattern of plus symbols. I think sometimes 99er got to this one before I did.
Are these all in character mode?
Yes. Graphics 1, color mode.
So yeah, those are all characters you see on the left are all defined.
Yep, these are the shapes down here that I use. Also, graphics mode 1. This one's bitmap mode. A little harder to translate to XP this way. I found this one online and just kind of converted it. Well, most of the ones I found, I just convert what I found online.
You're gonna have to do it.
Different shapes. Okay, so that's probably it for Magellan. Now for programming, I use IntelliJ IDEA, which is basically a Java IDE, but with the XDT-99 development kit, there's some files that allow you to do syntax highlighting for assembly language for the TI. So that's why my statements here are orange, registers are kind of purple, and comments are darker gray. And for Tilda, I've got, I think, 7 banks now that I've filled with code and graphics, and some of the graphics are compressed using this Dan2 compression library that I got from the ColecoVision forums on Atari Age. This guy Dan made really great compression. I mean, it beats gzip for most cases that I've found. And I had to write the decoder in TI assembly language, and it's pretty good. When learning assembly language, I made a cheat sheet here of all the assembly instructions, kind of helped me remember what they are, and also where things are memory map in memory, kind of made a memory map, and how to program the chips and the sound chip, video chip, read the joystick. I have that down here. Yeah, these are the lines you would read to figure out the joystick. What else was I going to show? In each bank, I've got different functions that I can call by setting a register to a certain number, and tables to jump to. Some of the nice things about IntelliJ is you can do Control B, and it'll take you to where that is defined in your file, and you can go back and forth so that you can navigate pretty easily in the code.
Search through.
Yeah, there's search functions. I can look for Sprite. It's finding it in the comments. And then I have what's called a make file to compile my program, and it has instructions on where to find the tools that I use and how to combine the different banks into a single cartridge file. And nice thing about make files is to compile everything. You just type make, and it'll go in and see the things that have changed and recompile it. Here it's running the X assembler for XDT-99. It takes my assembly files and it creates a listing file, which is helpful if you're debugging. And it combines all the banks into a single cartridge, tilde8.bin, and also RPAC if you want to use it on main. And for testing, I have Classic 99 running in Wine on a Mac. So that allows me to use the really nice debugger from Classic 99. Open up the cartridge and run it. And there we go. There's the title screen. And it's running in the debugger too, so if I needed to set a breakpoint, I could stop it and put a breakpoint there. Here's the assembly instructions as they're running. And you can examine CPU memory or VDP memory. Let's see if we can find... never mind. So I'll just go through and do a quick demo. Start out in bottom left of the screen. You can see your map dot here shows you kind of the general idea of in the overworld where you are. And you can go into a cave, and this is where you're supposed to get your first sword, but due to testing I already have it. If you collect it, it'll kind of collect it twice because there's a bug right now. I think it was actually respawned twice and I picked it up in the same place. And you can go in and out of caves, and now there's enemies. That's new from last year. You can get hurt, and if you defeat them, sometimes you'll get an upgrade or a power-up item. There's a rupee that I can collect, and I get 252 rupees. The menu screen is new. You can select between 8 different items. You wouldn't normally start with all of these, but I have them enabled for testing. Your boomerang shoots and comes back to you. It doesn't work on enemies yet. That's still to come. But you can block things that they spit at you, and also arrows. Let's see. Bombs are implemented. I'm gonna die. So there are a lot of secrets in Zelda games, or should I say Tilda games, and you can find hidden doors with bonus money. So one thing I finished recently, I'm going to try to get there before I die. Okay, half heart left. Am I going to make it? Okay, I made it. So there's ponds with fairies in them, and they will fill up your hearts. And that was just last week that I finally finished that. I've also been working on getting the sounds and music. Let me turn on the sound if you can hear. Oops, wrong button. It's only going to come out of my laptop speakers, so may not be able to hear it very well. But it's just music for now. I converted most of it from the NES file. There's a program called FamiTracker, which basically lets you change the notes and stuff that you got from basically they have a game, and then they extract a music file that you can load in FamiTracker, and then export it to a text file. And I take the text file with the notes and convert that into what the TI can play. Any questions?
Did you write code to do that track conversion?
Yeah, I wrote it in C. This would be a raft, but it's actually the same way that a dungeon would work. My son loves glitches in this game. That's his favorite part, is finding the bugs in the game. So he laughs every time he goes into this room. And previously, you could walk around inside the menu, and he would go off the bottom of the screen into random places in RAM, and he called it Glitch World. And it was just basically walking around, and it's all garbled, and he had a great time. So, not yet.
Especially got your own house to it.
Yeah. He's been very helpful in testing stuff.
What's your timeline on finishing?
Well, it's took me a year to get this far, and I'm probably about halfway, so I figure maybe another year to finish it.
Where can you find the Jello.go?
There's a thread on Atari Age that has it.
It's linked
So
in
just-
the developers' resources.
Yeah,
Okay.
We go to the developer forum and first post the developer resources.
Is that so? So it's not like the Java section or anything like that.
No,
Just
it's
has
just
a link to the
development
development.
tools.
Do
It's
they
under
have
the
a Java
graphics
section?
tools.
Like that. Okay.
Not that I know.
I mean, I can only spend like an hour on Atari Age at a time because there's just so much. It's like friggin' brain overload. I mean,
Yeah, it's selective.
yeah, I tried to limit it to the TI-99 stuff, but it's like,
Time vortex for sure.
definitely.
Yeah, if I'm working on programming this, I have to close my browser, otherwise I never get anything done.
Have you tried it on other emulators?
Yeah, it works in JS99er. It works on a stock cartridge or stock TI-94A. This is the entrance to the first dungeon. All I've got is the character graphics so far and scrolling. And one cool thing is that as you walk through the door, I redefine my sprite so that way it chops him in half as you're walking through the door. It's not using the same method that Rasmus uses on his Flying Shark game. He actually has another sprite that sits on top of the one that, like the tanks come out, and it has another sprite that just kind of covers it. And since they're overlapping, it doesn't allow the part that's not showing to show.
This is the fifth sprite limit.
Yeah.
So if it was a cartridge, how big would it be so far?
It's at 64K right now.
They're going to be bigger.
I doubt it. I think I can keep it under 64K. I mean, my original goal was to keep it under 32K, but that's a long one.
I think the original Zelda was 180K cartridge. So
Yeah. Well, we've got simpler graphics here. It's only 2 colors per character, 2 colors per sprite.
I like the mapping. That's cool.
Yeah, the mappings. There would be a different map here. You would have your kind of your scroll with the squares that show you where you've been in the room in this dungeon. I'm trying to remember how to get to the end. Okay, not this way. Some of the other weapons that I've done, I got the bow and arrow working so you can shoot arrows and they kind of spark at the end of the screen.
Can you do the little samurai guy screen again? That was I like those characters. The really blue and green ones.
Okay, I think I need to have full hearts before I can do that one. The boss would be in this screen. He would block your access to this door. And then you would pick up a TI Force piece right here. And that's where I'm at.
That's pretty
So
cool.
I'm going to keep working on it. Hopefully.
So Pete, do you want help with this?